Everyone. First to start, a did not finish Martha Wells' The Witch King, and I don't know what to say about it other than I think I narrowed it down to a point where when you start to get into a book and the author is trying to get you immersed in the world, you get characters talking back and forth, and it works about the world that they live in. And in this, for some reason, with the exchange of the characters about what they're doing and where they're going, I just kind of like, what? I don't know what you're getting at. There's no. It's almost, I don't know how to. I wish I had a step-by-step process here to say. In some books, you get it. You're immersed. They're talking about things you've never heard of before, but you're in. And in this one, I just couldn't get in. It wouldn't punch real hard. It starts out with a demon who is escaping a prison, and he doesn't know who's imprisoned him, and he wants to find out. And it kind of reminded me at the start a little bit of, I got it right there, Neil Gaiman's Sandman right there, the way that starts out. But it just didn't hold me, and I gave it a few days and put it down. I just didn't keep going with it. Oh well, she's a great author though. I love Murderbot. So this is what we're talking about by Walter Moers, The City of Dreaming Books. There it is right there. See that little guy there, little Cyclops there reading? That is a bookling, and we will get to those in just a second because they pertain to you. So this is an illustrated book, which I really liked. Here's your main character, Optimus Yarn Spinner. I thought he was a dragon. No, he just says he's a dinosaur, and the dinosaur and the wings don't really work. Just some ancestral thing handed down to him. This is, there's his home city there, where all his ilk live right there. It's just wonderful illustrations in here, and this is very much not only a fairy tale of a book, but I think it is actually overall a symbol for what authors and readers go through in their adventures. So what happens here is he has a godfather who dies, and among things he leaves him this manuscript. It's about 8 pages long or so, and when he reads it, makes him laugh, makes him cry, makes him dance around the city. It's the greatest thing he's ever read, and this really does have an effect that we have in the real world, because he has to go and find this author and find all his works. And so we do that for real. I guess a good one for me would be like Larry Niven. I read Protector, and I found out, there's more. He's done more. This is the Ringworld author. I didn't know that at the time I read Protector, and now I've read I think 30-some books by him. I think there's 1 or 2 floating out there that are not in his Known Space series, but I had to go find more of it. You jump on that author, and you want to read more of what they got. So he sets off, and he goes to the city called Bookholm. It is a city of dreaming books. And when he gets there, it's glamorous in a way. He really dives into the city, and it's almost like it's going to be his new home. But he very quickly finds out that there is a dark underbelly to this whole thing. And I wonder if the villain in this represents a really evil book publisher. There's a war that goes on, I think, between art and business. And one in a capitalist world can't really go without the other. And so a great example would be the Witcher TV series, of course, based on the book series. And there was actually a producer on that show who stated, I don't give a damn about the book series at all. We're just making a TV show here, and we're going to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff and not put it in there. And Henry Cavill, who was a big Witcher fan, really didn't like this and tried his damnedest to make sure that stuff that was in the books got into that TV series, and just clashed and clashed and clashed. And eventually he left the show, and he's off on his own once again. And that's the kind of thing that happens for real. And sometimes, I don't know, maybe they're right sometimes when someone says, for example, The Matrix. In these movies, the idea was supposed to be that humanity all hooked into the Matrix is free processing power for the computer world. and some producer somewhere said, look, they're not going to get it. They're not going to understand this at all. And that got turned into battery power, which works just fine, I guess. So that's what you have here with this diabolical. He what he wants to do, what he has done, is he will, buy up a bookstore here, buy up a bunch of books there, make sure these bookstores get these books here, take these off the market from there, and he manipulates this book world. And what he wants to do is take over the entire planet and destroy all artwork. He'll get rich in the process and rule the world, but books, illustration, everything has got to go, and he's going to burn it all down. So when Optimus finds his son, like, what are you telling me this for? And he banishes him down into this underworld that exists beneath Bookholm, which is vastly larger than Bookholm, these catacombs. And these are his adventures there. And I think these catacombs represent the various worlds you're going to visit in the books that we read. And so what you have here is, it's like the real book fans. One is the Bookholm itself is like the producers and marketing department, all that. And the down here in the catacombs, this is where the imagination is. So you have folks like these here, the booklings, and all you booktubers, you're booklings. He dives down into this world, all kinds of books there. He learns more about writing, and it's just like watching booktube, or I'm on some booktubers discords, and through them I find books I never would have found. There are books that I've been browsing bookstores for ages, and there's books I could swear I've never seen on a shelf that I found through booktubers. Seasons of Babylon, A Short Stay in Hell, Natural History, Perdido Street Station. This one was actually pretty popular. I wonder if I just browsed over it. This is a much more well-known than any of these others I've thrown out there. Titan Hoppers, that's an indie book there. I would never have known. I would never found these treasures, these wonderful adventures, had I not dived down into the catacombs at his booktube and Discord. And that's what I really got out of this. And his entire journey is, I think, very representative. There was this meme I ran across talking about there's people who have all kinds of daydreams and imaginary situations, and they just never get around to putting it all together and publishing a book. And that's what Optimus Yarn Spinner, that's his whole outlook. He just never really gets it together. And so his whole journey here is how to become a writer as he seeks this other author. This is, I don't know that he is that amazing a character. He's interesting at least, and he has a wit to him, and he's a little bit of a smart ass, and sometimes at the wrong times that lead to problems. But it's through the catacombs, and it's the world itself that's a little more interesting in his interaction with it. So this is, there's a lot of imaginary words in this one, but there's a few I ran across that are actual words, and you're going to learn some new words right here, right now. Here's a few that just jumped out at me. Vituperate. This is the abuse or censure severely or abusively, to use harsh language upon another person. Metronomic. Mechanically regular. Relating to or being or drug or being a drug or regimen of drugs administered in low doses, regular intervals over an extended period of time. And this is a big one. Tetragrammaton. Have any idea what that was? I had never heard of this before. This is the Hebrew name of God, and it translates as four-letter words that you've heard before, which pronounced would be Yahweh or Jehovah. Tetragrammaton. There's also, I will direct you, if you decide to read this book, It starts on page 382 as he learns a whole bunch of made-up words by this author. I missed a whole idea in this book until I looked up some reviews afterward, looked up some information afterwards. There's a lot of names in this book, and all of them are apparently little anagram plays on authors' names, so be on the lookout for that. This is a fun book. I actually really enjoyed The City of Dreaming Books, Walter Moers. So next week, so Naomi Novik, Buried Deep and Other Stories. So this is apparently a short story collection of hers. I didn't realize it is apparently from stuff from her other works that already exists, except for a new one. From the Dragonfilled, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Temeraire series, and the Gothic Magical Halls of the Scholomance trilogy. Scholomance. I like this Dark Academia, but that's really good. Through the realms next door to Spinning Silver and Uprooted, this stunning collection takes us from fairy tale to fantasy, myth to history, and mystery to science fiction as we travel through Naomi Novik's most beloved stories, here among many others we encounter. A mushroom witch who learns that sometimes the worst thing in the Scholomance can be your roommate. The start of the Dragon Corps in ancient Rome after Mark Antony hatches a dragon's egg and bonds with the hatchling. A young bride in the Middle Ages who finds herself gambling with death for the highest of stakes. A delightful reimagining of Pride and Prejudice. I have not read it or whatever, so hopefully that's not lost on me, in which Elizabeth Bennet captains a long-winged dragon. The first glimpse of the world of Abandon, the setting of Novik's upcoming epic fantasy series, a deserted continent populated only by silent and enigmatic architectural mystery. See, the stories are vastly different. Though the stories are vastly different, there's a unifying theme, wrestling with destiny, and the lengths some will go to find their own and fulfill its promises. So there you go. That's going to be what I read off this week. No, really. That's really good. It's a trilogy. Go read that. And that's going to be it for me. See you next week. Hope you enjoy. Bye-bye.